This episode is proudly sponsored by Indigenous Business Australia, who serves, partners and invests with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who want to own their own future.
Black Magic Woman podcast acknowledges the traditional owners of the land we have recorded this episode on. We also acknowledge traditional owners of the land where you, the listener or viewer, are tuning in from. We would like to pay our respects to our elders past and present and acknowledge that this always was Aboriginal land and always will be Aboriginal land.
Welcome to the Black Magic Woman podcast with Mundanara Bayles.
Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Black Magic Woman podcast. This is episode 3 of the IBA Partnership Series. I'm your host, Mundanara Bayles, and it's an absolute pleasure to be able to introduce you to my guest today, Priscilla Mason from Indigico. So thank you so much for agreeing to jump on the podcast. We're on the beautiful lands of the Gadigal peoples, which is here in Sydney. So not the best view, but it's still a beautiful day. Sydney is actually trying to, I would say, survive the heat wave, and we're in aircon, so that's pretty good. We're not out there sweating our mundies off. So look, sis, with all of the guests on the podcast, I throw it over to you. Can you introduce yourself and tell our listeners, but also now our viewers on YouTube, your name, your mob, and where you grew up?
Yep, my name is Priscilla Mason. I'm a Warramah woman from Port Stephens in a little town called Kurua. Kurua has about 1,400 people. My parents lived there, my husband's parents lived there, my grandparents, my great-grandparents, so we're born and bred in Kurua.
So everybody's related to everyone.
Yeah, for sure. And if you haven't lived there for 40 years and you're not a local, so
you've been there for that long, or you grew up there and you raised your kids there?
Yep, grew up there. Moved to, my mum and dad moved us to Tweed Heads when I was 8 to experience a different life, different culture. Yep. So we moved to Tweed, lived there for about 8 years, and then we moved to Bega down the south coast, and then back up home when I was 17, finished year 12 up here, and met my husband in year 12 and had the 3 kids and 6 grandkids, and they all still live in Kurua and all within a kilometre of each other.
Far out. So all that tribe, biggest mob, what's Christmas like?
Oh, it's stressful. It's stressful. It's like, it is good. Like, seriously, it is good. Yeah. And I always say, it's only one day. Yeah. You know, you get stressed for one day, then it's done, finished, and, away you go. So,
but it's the memories.
Ah, of course.
You know, like
mud crab memories.
Oh, mud crab memories.
Yes,
Look at it. So is there mud crabs?
Yes.
Where you live?
Yes. We had my husband and my dad go out.
I was going to say, tell our listeners and also our viewers, describe the country that you grew up on.
Okay. God's country?
God's country. You know, everyone says it, eh? Yeah.
Kurua is on the Kurua River, and it leads out to the port, so Port Stephens Port, and we have mud crabs. We're very sea people, so we live on seafood, fish, mud crabs, blue swimmers, prawns, that kind of stuff. We don't get the prawns from the river though, because that's illegal.
Okay. No. Yeah, they're already overfished.
Yeah.
So Port Stephens is near Newcastle?
Yeah, about 45 minutes north.
Okay. And in terms of, I heard you lived in Sydney once upon a time. What made you come to Sydney and what was it like?
Ah, geez.
Compared to this small town with 1,400 people, next minute you come to the big smoke.
Yeah.
Because Newcastle would kind of be like the big smoke, right?
It is, but we didn't sort of go into Newcastle neither.
Okay.
So it was like when we started the business in 2017, we were staying in a motel all the time. And we said, oh, God, we can't sustain this. So we wanted a bit of a base because we were just living out of suitcases, you know. So we moved to Barara and lived there for 3 years. Went home on weekends, obviously. Any chance we got, we went home. Yeah. But then this year it was just like, no, we're staying home a bit more. So we come down to Sydney on Tuesdays, Wednesday, head home Thursday arvos. So we have a bit more time at home.
Deadly. So in 2017, you said you started a business. So it's not that long ago, 6 years ago.
Yep.
What was you doing before you started a business?
Before we started the business, I actually used to work for the New South Wales Aboriginal Land Council. Yeah. I was a council support officer. Yeah. For Mid North Coast, and so I was support officer for the chairperson at the time, Bev Manton,
Mm-hmm.
my mum. I was going to say that.
Hello, Arnie.
Yeah, so I did that. Before that, I worked at the, I was an admin for the local Aboriginal Land Council, and before that was schools. But immediately before we started the business, I was we worked in construction.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, my husband was, so we all just jumped in.
So tell me about this business.
Okay. In
Indigico.
It's a bit of a monster.
Yeah.
It is. My heart's beating a bit now.
Well,
What
made you, let's go back. What made you want to start a business?
Okay.
Was there anyone or any
No.
moment in time?
There was a moment in time. My husband, Todd, is Corey too. Our partner, our business partner, Greg, we worked for a Tier 1 company. And Todd was a superintendent in construction in the rail industry. And we didn't come across any Aboriginal labourers, no other Aboriginal businesses, no Aboriginal engineers, no project, nothing. And we just thought, what's going on, you know? So our sort of projects, we sort of finished off the project. And we thought, let's grab this, you know, because we knew Greg for quite a while before that. So we said, let's jump in, you know. So we started Indigico, and the first year we consoled ourselves out. You know, we thought we had to get serious. We were still working with this Tier 1.
Mm-hmm.
And
you got your little side hustle.
Yeah, we thought we had to get serious. So our first consulting thing, like Todd and I went off to Ballarat.
Yeah.
We was down there on the on a wind farm. So he was building roads and I was in the safety department.
Yeah.
And then we said, yeah, no, we've got to
So you consult. Tell me what you're consulting. It's on construction sites.
Yep. So we sell our services to them. So he's a superintendent.
Yeah.
He goes in and builds the road.
Yep.
This was for the wind farm. And I was in I was a safety administrator.
Yep.
So yeah, we went down there and did that.
And then are these projects for like 2 weeks, 3 months?
Oh no, this one was
12 months.
Yeah, down there. I think we're down there for 6 months.
So you went to Ballarat for 6 months.
Yeah.
To do a project.
Yeah. So we'd come home. We'd fly home I think it was once a month. We'd fly home for the weekend and fly back down. But
so how many people do you need to be able to do a project like that? Is that where you just subcontract, or you've got a big team now?
At the time, we were contracted in. Like it was just us, because they wanted Todd to work there. He's quite fantastic. He's very clever.
Behind every good woman is a good man.
That's right. He has my back on everything.
Yeah.
But we just went down there, you know, helped out and whatever. But the sizes, like when we came home in 2018, beginning of 2018, they were doing the Newcastle Light Rail, and so we had our first 2 labourers on there, blue collar labourers, and they were our first employees, and we had I think it was a project director working here in Sydney that was under us, and it just sort of.
That's how it started. It started with
2 labourers. My son and my son-in-law.
Yes.
The labourers.
They were the labourers.
They were cool boys. Yep.
That's how a lot of our, you know, family businesses or small businesses start.
Yeah.
It's people close to you and people that you trust. That you bring in.
Yeah.
And then it starts to just, I guess, you know, take off. Create, it forms its own life.
Yeah.
So you went from 5 years in the business.
Yep.
Back in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the next kind of moment in the business that
we had a few people starting to work for us, you know, consulting, like because we had people that were coming along and saying from our Tier 1 days, they'd be saying, oh, do you know someone who could do this job, you know? So we go, oh yeah, we know someone, you know, we'll put him forward, whatever. But we also did low risk construction. So, and the boys got involved with that, you know. Then it was just like every man his dog started it.
Yeah.
That was in 2018. You know, grew it a little bit 2019. 2020 was cruising along nice. You know, we just thought, oh, this is all right. This is, you know, we're getting there. Then 21 was a pandemic or 20?
Yeah, 2020.
Yeah, pandemic came and we had to sort of have another think about the business, where it's going, you know, because we had to survive. So then we thought, let's jump into recruitment, blue collar and white collar.
Isn't that interesting? You jumped into recruitment during the pandemic.
Crazy, right? Seriously. So there's this young
who wanted staff during the pandemic?
The New South Wales government.
Okay.
So we had a few people in Transport for New South Wales. So everything shut down obviously during the pandemic, but they had to keep the state going. So, they had to, everybody was working from home at that time, and they needed people to do this, do that, so we just placed
So there was
people here,
still
there,
work.
yeah. And it just went crazy.
So 2020 pandemic hits. You would say your business boomed through the pandemic. And then how did you actually find out about IBA?
2017.
Back then?
Back then, 2017, we, because I had I had an ATSIC loan when I got my house, and then I knew IBA come along, and I'm thinking we need to, help us kick us off a bit. So it was a bit of a process. So we got the startup funding, and was very tight. Money was very tight. So bless them. They took a chance on us and thought we sort of had a good thing going with our business plan and what we thought, the business plan back then is nothing like the business is now.
Yeah.
So, and then now it's like they've stuck through us all through that period. And now we use a service that they provide, which is invoice financing. And invoice financing is when your cash flow can't keep up with your growth.
Yeah.
So they jump in. They say yes. They help you out like with your contracts and that kind of stuff. Pay them out.
And that's one of the products or services that IBA offer.
Yep.
Wow.
And they are fantastic. They are like, I actually said, I don't know, they probably say this to everybody, but the last time we spoke to them, they actually said to us, we're blessed to have you guys.
Yeah.
Because our books are always in order.
Yeah.
We keep on top of everything like that,
Yeah.
They come and do an audit and that kind of stuff, and they're just like, yeah, we know what you're like, so they can't thank them enough. And we still use them. We still use them to this day, yeah.
That's deadly. And in terms for like other Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander businesses, if any of you mob that are listening or watching this yarn, what would you say to them in terms of, to our own mob that maybe working in a full-time job and know that they've got the skills, they might not have the resources. And that's where IBA come in handy.
Yep.
But it's just a phone call.
It's a phone call. Nothing. It's just an inquiry.
Yeah.
Make the inquiries, see if they go, yep, okay, come in with your business plan. Come in with the startup program, all that kind of stuff. I can't thank them enough for where we are. Seriously, they back us. They're wonderful.
So in terms of, you've got how many people now? Like, how big is this organisation? Because I did read that you won the
Telstra Award.
Well,
Supply Nation first.
There's a few awards that we need to talk about now.
Sorry.
And we know, and we're talking about this before, like in our culture, we don't big note ourselves. And, you were talking about imposter syndrome. And I said, no, it's just within our culture, sis. It's ingrained in our DNA that you don't put yourself outside of the group. You don't put yourself above others. But other people can big note for you. So
yes.
the Telstra Business Award.
Yes. Yeah.
That was this year.
Yes.
The Supply Nation Certified Supplier of the Year Award was last
business.
year.
Yep, certified business of the year.
Yep, certified business.
Yep.
So tell us about, in terms of just putting yourself forward for an award, what was that like? Because I know it took me years to actually put Black Card forward, and that's the business that I've set up with my elders. And the first time we put the award in, we didn't get shortlisted.
Yep.
The second year, we finally got shortlisted. And we won an award as well. And if you haven't heard about Supply Nation, they've just released the trade show and gala dinner with the awards. It's on the 8th of August. So get on Supply Nation's website and check it out. We go every year because I love the fact that we can come together as an Indigenous business sector and just support.
I love it.
Support, celebrate, connect, meet, build relationships.
Yep.
So the award you won, I can tell you now, that's another, actually, Certified Supplier of the Year. We 2 years in a row, we didn't even get shortlisted. So I'm like hungry for that category. What was it like in terms of to just say, you know what, we might have a chance here?
Okay.
Did anyone talk you into putting yourself forward?
Our team.
Yeah.
Our team did. I'm not out there for these awards kind of things.
Yeah.
But in the back of my head, I was like, our team deserves recognition.
Yeah.
Everybody that works with us,
course.
we have a very diverse culture in our staff,
Mm-hmm.
and they deserve recognition, So Anyway, we got together and we started writing this thing up, and I prepared everybody even before that when it's Supply Nation said, no, we don't have this, so don't worry about it, And no speech organised, just in cases. But I remember they were going, ours come up last, our thing, and when they said Indigico, all I remember was going,
I'm not prepared.
Oh, no, I had my head down.
Oh, because you're embarrassed.
Yeah, I was just so
because you won an award.
Yeah, won an award, My husband's going tune. The rest of the team are jumping
high-fiving.
Yeah, oh, it was crazy.
And there's this part of you that felt like that you didn't deserve it.
Yeah.
Is that interesting that at a moment like that, which is the biggest night to celebrate Black excellence, there was this part of you that felt like
I was an imposter. We shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
It's just that my team. One part of me is going, we deserve this. We work damn hard.
Of course,
we're doing what we can for our people and the business. And the other part's going, yeah, but there's so many other businesses out there. They deserve it. They deserve it more.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just as deadly as us.
Yeah.
How do we get to a point now? We're living in a modern society, but doesn't mean we have to, assimilate into white society and act like white fellas. But how do we kind of break through those? It's within our culture, though. It's within our culture. How do we get past that point that we actually don't feel that sense of, we're not worthy of this, or we don't. I shouldn't be celebrating this, because for the next generation, when we think about, you got grandchildren, when you think about your grannies, we always say that we want you to be proud of being Black and be proud of where you come from. Don't ever forget your mob. You make it out there. Don't forget your community. These are the messages that I know with a lot of our mob. If you've grown up in community, that's how
you are.
Our old people speak like that, because they can see the potential in you. Oh, she's going to be doing some deadly things.
So we've got. I suffer with that. Like I look around and go, like I said before, but there's this imposter syndrome. But my kids, I have my son's 30, my daughter's 20. Sorry, daughter, I think you're 29. I think you're 29.
Sorry, daughter. Somewhere there.
Yeah. And my youngest son's 26. But they're so proud of us.
Yeah.
They're like the ones that are carrying this proudness and walk around and say, this is my mum and dad. They share our social media. They share this. Look how good they are. They're just too deadly, these fellas, And I'm just like, settle down.
Yeah.
Settle down. This is a shame,
Yeah. And I think that shame factor is more about staying grounded, right? Yeah. I think a lot of non-Aboriginal people think that when we say, oh, that's shame, that we're shy. Black fellas aren't shy.
I am. Am I coming across now?
No, but it's this kind of, we're humble. We're humble peoples. We've grown up in a humble culture.
Yep.
But humble old people also that kind of, ingrained that in us. That, we're a group base, we're a mob, we support each other. We don't leave anyone behind.
And you saying that, we're humble. I always said, have shame. I'm shy. I'm really shy. I don't like to talk to people. Until you know me, we just, shut up.
Exactly.
It's crazy. But the amount of people and who I've come across, who I've just met, they go, you guys are just so humble.
Yeah.
You're very humble. They talk to Todd and I. It's like you haven't changed a bit. You're just this normal, And I was like, imagine me being indifferent.
Yeah. That's just how we are, how we've been raised.
Yeah.
And when I think about, Black fellas now owning the business, because you're 100% Aboriginal owned business, how do you get to a point where you're doing really well? Do you have a plan do you have an exit strategy? Do you have other little hobbies or side hustles? Is there anything you want to share with us that's in the pipeline? Like, I'm not saying that I've reached that point in my business, but I definitely got to a point during COVID where there was only so much I could do to work on my core business that then I started a podcast.
Yeah.
Now the podcast has taken off. It's got a life of its own, and people and staff and expenses and overheads. Yeah. I've got to keep up with that as well. But there's always, I think with us as mob, like we always got these ideas.
Yeah, we do. And I'm not going to say that because we own Indigico.
Yes.
Indigico. And Indigico, like I said, we used to dabble in a bit of construction, a bit of consulting work and that kind of stuff. But we had to. It got too busy that we can't keep an eye on what was going on.
Yeah.
So what we did, we decided to go, okay, this section over here is our specialist services, which is our environmental team, sustainability, our comms team, our marketing team, workforce development. That's one of our businesses over there that we moved away, and that's called Smart Infrastructure Consulting.
Wow. So you got another business over here.
Then we've got Indigico's mothership. Don't forget that,
of course.
Right? Indigico's mothership. Indigico started this whole thing.
Yes.
So the plan with Indigico was, okay, we want to upskill our people, we want recruitment and all that kind of stuff. But like I said, there was no one there. So me and my wisdom, I don't know how it's going to turn out, we started Mob Ready, which is a Indigenous-specific group training organisation for trainees and apprenticeships.
Okay, so you've got a RTO.
GTO.
It's a group training organisation.
Yes.
And the difference, just for listeners and viewers, the difference between a group training organisation and an RTO, because I've worked in both myself. An RTO is a registered training organisation.
Yep.
Where you basically receive accredited training.
Yes, exactly.
With a group training organisation, you actually employ the apprentice or trainee and you can host them out to industry.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
You become the legal employer.
Yes, yes.
So a GTO.
Yeah, so we've got the GTO.
Mob Ready.
Mob Ready, which is getting our mob ready for the workforce, for their careers and starting from the ground, starting with our kids. And we talk about our kids and that, but it's like, but I don't care if you're 30, 40 or 50. If you want to do a traineeship, you want to change your career path, let's do it. Let's jump on it. And then we've got.
I love that. This is what I mean. First, was just in Indigico. I'm sure there's more here.
There is. We're actually this one's totally separate, separate from what we do.
Okay.
We've actually started a company. We're importers with another business.
Yep.
So
it's a joint venture.
No.
Still you on your own.
It's the owners. It's the owners of Indigico with the owners of another business that we've formed a business. It's actually a full business.
Okay.
So, and it's called Dura Composites. Get online, have a look for these people in construction.
So it's Dura?
Yep, DURA,
yep.
Composites.
Yep.
And we're the only importers in Australia for this product. So we have Australia and we have New Zealand.
What are you importing?
It's a composite.
Yes.
Right. That's strong like steel, but lighter than steel, spans further than steel without having braces in between. And it's just this product that you use in marines for your, what are them things down there called?
Building. There's a lot of building going on down here.
What are the things? Your piers. Your thing that you walk out. I'm going.
Bridge that. What?
No, the decks.
The decks.
The decks that you walk out to your boats
we're
on.
Not in construction.
Anything around water, So it lasts 50 years and it's all this kind of stuff. So that's our little side thing. That's totally different from Indigico and Mob Ready and Smart Infrastructure. But that's something that's on the side that we hope is going to take off.
Too deadly.
It's only new. It's very new. Yeah.
And I'm just thinking, to actually win the New South Wales Telstra Business Award in the Indigenous Excellence category, what was that like? Because I saw some other deadly talent that also was finalist, and one was Sister Crystal Kinsella, who was also on this podcast.
Yep.
So you won that award. What was that like? Because, like you said, was it another moment where you felt you deserved it? We've worked hard for this. And you had a speech ready, did you? Did you have your speech ready this time?
We deserved it. We worked hard for it on behalf of our team. You know what I mean? But there was still me. My mum and dad actually came down. So there was still a part of me that was like, nah, we got no chance.
Yeah.
Don't worry about this,
Yeah.
And I did the same thing.
Stop.
This thing. But, I did prepare a bit of a little speech, and I remember getting up there and going, all these other speeches before me, they just got up there and talked away about their business, I'm thinking, God, mine's nothing like that.
Yeah.
So I had my little piece of paper.
Yeah.
Ripped it out.
Keep you on track.
Yeah.
Who you need to talk.
Yeah. Did.
Do your thanks.
Yeah. And, I thank Mum and Dad, our team, our elders who passed before us, paving the way, because we wouldn't be where we are today without them. There's no doubt in my mind, we genuinely have a seat at the table.
Yeah.
We have a seat at the table, Indigenous business and Indigenous people. We're going to smash this out. We're going to,
I was going to say, did you ever think that young woman from the Mish, from a town of 1,400, could be where you are today?
You're making me teary. Because after that, okay, everybody in town knows that we have this business. You know what I mean? When we got the award, the Telstra Award, our children, they just put it all over this Facebook, social media, you know. And obviously we know the kids that they grew up with, you know. But when we got home and when we sort of seen their friends and that kind of stuff, they were just so proud. You know, we go down the club and they'd be like, my husband's at the bar and he's getting a beer. And this fella's turned up beside this older fella, you know, and he goes, I don't get on Facebook much. He said, but I see you won an award.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, mate. He goes, I'm so proud. I'm proud of you. I'm proud to come from Kruger like you fellas. You know, and it was just like, this is a white fella.
Yeah, yeah.
And
but he felt
it.
This sense of pride to be from the same community that you grew up in.
Yeah.
And to know you, to say, I know these mobs.
Yeah. He said, I've seen it on my Facebook. It popped up, you know. But everybody is. And it's, when we walk away, like we walked away and we just went, it's nice. The acknowledgement from your people, your community, is better than anything else. Of course. It's better than anything else. Yeah.
I'm loving it. Yeah. And I keep thinking now in terms of the future, where do you see yourself in, say, the next 10 years? Is there any plans on early retirement?
Not sure.
Not sure.
Not sure.
Things are going good at the moment?
They are. We've bought in now, we've got GMs for all of our businesses. So
How many people now?
Yeah. Well, internally between the three businesses, I think we employ probably about 60 permanent staff. 60? Yeah, just permanent. They're the ones that work for us, you know. Yeah. But in our recruitment space and that kind of thing, we have like, I think we've got about 360 people out. Majority for Transport for New South Wales, Johnson & Johnson, you know, all these big companies, they want to talk. So
this is big business. You're running a massive business. Most people think about Aboriginal businesses or Indigenous businesses just being like small to medium enterprises. And we might have 5 to 20 staff. I actually haven't had anyone on the podcast, and I don't know anyone that's mob that actually have a business as big as yours. Like, that to me makes me want to aspire. Like, do I want to go that big? Can we potentially scale our businesses? Can we actually do other things? You know, our other little passion projects. So, sis, I can't wait now. I can't wait to get online and actually look into the business that you've got and start thinking about, look, if you can do it, then here I am running a smaller business, but the opportunities are endless.
They are. And we're always looking. Like, don't get us wrong. Like, we're cruising. Like I said, we've got a GM in looking after smart infrastructure. We've got a GM looking after the mob ready. We've got a GM looking after the recruitment side. So we're not the immediate, we're the owners. Yep. And our staff feel like they come straight to us, but we've had to put a bit of separation in there. You know, because the worry was always on us.
Yes.
So now we put these people in place.
You pay other people to do the worrying.
Yeah. That's what it's like now.
Do the work and you can look after.
That's what it's like. I'm telling you, that's what it's like now. So you do the worry, you're reporting to me.
Yes.
We've got boards and all that kind of stuff, which is just, and I'm going to look at the camera now. To be really honest with you, as talking to you has hit home of how big we are.
Mm.
And you make me teary now. That's all we are.
Well, I'll be honest with you, sis, to meet another black woman has come from, you know, just the mish. Most black fellas will know what the mish is. But to come from humble beginnings and to be able to create the businesses, and to just be that example for your children and your grandchildren.
That's what it is.
And for our society. What do you hope when you think about our mob, our broader community? What do you hope for them and their future, for us as a people?
I hope that, I've had a lot of hopes. I've had a lot of visions for our people. I hope our people have confidence to go into the workforce, to go into business, you know. I hope that myself contributes to building economically independent communities and people. to change the narrative of what people think about Aboriginal people.
Yeah.
I want that to change.
Yeah.
I want that to change, and I hope that through what we do, we can leave this. We're going to leave this fantastic legacy.
Of course.
My children, my grandchildren, and hopefully that someone will take it on. And you know,
the future's bright.
it is.
And you know what? It's people like you, with the work that you're doing and the stories that you've got and your experiences. If we don't share the stories, then our younger people won't know what's possible. So
That's true.
as hard as it is
I know.
to get in front of a camera and have a yarn, can I just say thank you very much for stepping out of your comfort
I
zone
know.
and just letting the emotion,
Yeah. We were a sugar baby.
letting the emotion kind of, riding with those emotions and knowing that, what we're doing is for a greater cause.
Great
It's
cause.
bigger than us.
It's bigger than us.
So this right here is also part of our legacy for
Yeah.
our children and grandchildren to watch one day and go, I can't believe that's where my mum was. Or that's what my gran was doing back then.
Yeah.
And look what we've got because of them.
Yeah.
So we're part of history. Our stories, our
Stop
journeys. I'm not going to cry. But what a wonderful way to wrap up and just say all the best to you. I wish you every bit of success that's coming your way. And I can still see that there's a lot more that you're going to do and achieve as a family with your kids and with the community as well. And I can't wait to see more on Facebook. So you're going to keep up with social media.
Social media.
Keep the social media up.
Yeah.
And I'll probably see you soon because I'm going to be shortlisted with you soon.
I told our team, no, seriously, I told them, no more, just
No
got
more
announced.
awards.
They just got announced the other day, the Spottish one.
Yes.
My husband says to me, I think you should put in for Business of the Year. I said, no, we're not.
Yep.
No.
Indigenous Businesswoman of the Year. I'm telling you.
No.
All right.
Because you don't do it on your own. You got
I
a
know,
team.
but at the same time,
No.
it's you that gets out of bed every single day and you choose whether or not you want to go to work, whether or not you want to invest in your team, or whether or not you just want to say, you know what, I don't need to come to work.
Yeah.
So you do have to take some credit for it.
Yeah.
And the business wouldn't be where it is if you wasn't there driving it.
Yeah.
So love you, Matida. And thank you so much for just jumping on. And like I said, just sharing your story, even as uncomfortable as it is for us to talk ourselves up. So thank you. And also for our listeners and viewers, stay tuned for our other episodes for the IBA Partnership Series. Until next time, bye for now. If you'd like any more info on today's guest, please visit our show notes in the episode description. A big shout out to all you Deadly Mob and allies who continue to listen, watch and support our podcast. Your feedback means the world. You can rate and review the podcast on Apple and Spotify, or even head to our socials and YouTube channel and drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you. The Black Magic Woman podcast is produced by Clint Curtis.
If you'd like to know more about IBA and how they can help you to own your own home, start or grow a business, or invest in your future, visit iba.gov.au or free call 1800 107 107.